Hi, welcome once again. Today we are going to move to our next topic in the Module 3 people skills, that is presentation skills. And this is one of our important aspects which we are going to need in every step of our career. Now, what is presentation skills? When we say presentation skills, these are the skills which you need in delivering effective and engaging presentations to a variety of audiences. Yes, that means presentation skill will help you to address the audience, be it anywhere or any category. And that is why these skills cover a variety of areas such as the structure of your presentation, the design of your slide, the tone of your voice, and the body language you convey. In simple words, you are seeing me along with this presentation on the screen. So, whenever I'm making a presentation, I need to be careful about what my presentation is, what are the contents of my presentation, how the design of that presentation is being done, and the tone of my voice that I'm going to be using when I'm doing this presentation, and the body language. So, when you say presentation skills, there are any number of occasions when you may be asked to do a public speaking or to address a group. This is nothing but, my dear friends, a presentation skill is required at this time. So what you are going to do at this particular moment? One, presenting or making a speech at a conference or event. This is a scenario. Second, objecting to a planning proposal at a council meeting, maybe on any such topic or for a proposal that is being discussed. Making a speech at a wedding. I'm just taking an example for it. It could be a wedding, it could be a function, it could be a get together, anything. Proposing a vote of thanks to someone. Proposing a vote of thanks to someone at a club or at society. On behalf of a team, saying goodbye and presenting a gift to a colleague who is leaving, a send-off function. And six, seeking investment or a loan to help to set up a business. These are few examples where presentation skills are very necessary in every part of our life. So, the presentation skill, does it have any specific formats to be followed, or what is that? So now we'll see the formats and the purpose of presentations can be very different. One, it could be oral, that is only spoken. Second, it could be with the help of various medias, as we are seeing now, we are having it on a recorded thing, a visual, audio, etc. These could be only PowerPoint presentations. Some of them could be impromptu presentations made at the last moment. Some could be long planned presentations based on the facts and figures that are being made available. Educational or training sessions which are actually planned taking into consideration what is the audience expecting and who is the audience. Lectures, that could be a classroom lectures, simply giving a talk on a subject to a group on a voluntary basis for pleasure. If you are an expert into an area and you are really happy to share your thoughts, then it could be a simple talk. Or even it could be speeches at weddings and functions and eulogies at funerals are types of presentations. So now, my dear friends, you can understand how presentation skills can be an integral part of a professional. So, importance of presentation skills. When we say presentation skills, it helps an individual in enhancing his own growth opportunities. Presentation helps to make the picture clear. It grooms the personality of the presenter and elevates his levels of confidence. In case of striking deals, where there are client discussions, it is an essential part for a business professional to understand the audience. Say example, if I am a marketing professional and I am into proper sales. Now, if I'm into proper sales, if it is a retail kind of industry, FMCG industry, I should understand whether I'm addressing to the retailers in rural area, suburban area or urban area. Based on this particular aspect, I'm going to address them. Good presentation skills enable an individual to mold his message according to the traits of the audience. Yes, the presentation skills helps to make the audience perfectly understand what you want to express. This increases the probability of successful transmission of messages and there are no misunderstandings or misperceptions. Business professionals, that is why they have to arrange seminars and give presentations almost every day. So, how we are going to move for structuring a proper presentation? Now, when we are talking about presentation, a structure provides a logical flow. As we have seen, we started with what do you mean by presentation, why it is important, at which different particular occasions we are using the presentations, and now we'll see how we are going to structure a presentation, how we are going to make a presentation. You can provide the information that the audience needs to follow your presentation. The presentation will help you to become more comfortable following this flow. And there is a natural structure to present and follow the structure formalizes this process. So the first point under this is purpose. Now what is the purpose? To determine your purpose, why I am making the presentation, instead of that, the first very point that comes in is what are the main points I want my audience to take away from my presentation. In previous module also, previous learnings also, we have seen, parents, that each presentation, each MOOC had a purpose. Whenever you were viewing, you were watching, you were listening to each particular MOOC, you had a understanding and takeaway along with it. If you say this, yes, then the presenter is successful. This provides focus for you and the audience is clear on what they will gain listening to your presentation. Secondly, audience pre-assessment. It is very important to identify the characteristics, the knowledge, and the needs of your audience so that they are delivering the right presentation to the right audience. In simple example, take you are my audience and I am presenting to you. But if I'm not able to understand whether all of you are comfortable with it could be a language barrier, it could be a barrier of maybe, say example, what the words I'm using. If you're not comfortable with understanding, then I have not doing the right part of right audience and right presentation. Know who your audience is, what they want or need to know from this presentation, what is their background. Every time remember this step is to be done before the presentation is starting. Then comes our third point or third important aspect of a presentation, that is opening your presentation or bridge. This is also said to be as hook. It is designed to grab the audience attention and provide them with a reason to be interested in the presentation. Now, this hook could be a starting sentence, it could be a phrase, it could be a short story, it could be a small example, it could be a small discussion, or it could be a case also. So, this hook is going to be a very important bridge where you start understanding and grabbing the attention of the audience. Then we move on to the fourth point, body of presentation. It means the main part of the presentation. This is the major portion of the presentation, and that is why, being the body of the presentation, it is necessary that it connects directly to the purpose of the presentation. The body of the presentation should have ample amount of information that is going to make the audience comfortable and understand what this whole presentation is about. Also make a note that in the body of the presentation, all the points should be clearly mentioned and in short way. When I say presentation, it should not be paragraphs of writing. It should be to the point and very concise in nature. The fifth point now talks about is closing your presentation. Now, this is the final and concluding point where the final impression is going to be created. You're going to leave the audience, but when you're leaving the audience, you're going to make it sure that whatever you have presented will be there in their mind and it will be saved in their hard disk of the brain. Connect back to your purpose and let them know where you have been. Leave your audience always with a clear understanding of what points you were willing to discuss. Now we look on to some of the rules of the presentation. This is the 10, 20 and 30 rule. Now what is this? In the year 2005, Gao Kawasaki, a venture capitalist, he in the Silicon Valley wrote on his blog about the rule of the thumb in making great presentations. He said, focusing on conciseness and visibility, he suggested that the 10-20-30 rule will be very important. Now, what is this? The 10-30 and 20 rule states as 10 is for having 10 slides. Always have a limit of 10 slides whenever you are making a presentation. You will be managing the cognitive load for the audience. 10 slides can easily follow the flow of your presentation, and they will be rather challenging you to design your presentation well, choose what's important and leave out what is unnecessary. So your 10 slides should be so concise that it should cover all the aspects of the presentation but not miss the important part of it. The 20. A 20-minute presentation is very impacting. By giving yourself limited time on the presentation, you are challenging yourself to leave out the unnecessary details. But when you're leaving the unnecessary details, you are focusing on the important points. You're focusing on the message that is to be conveyed to the audience. Even if your session has been allotted with more time, you can devote the remaining time for discussion or questions or any technique that involves audience with your presentation. It depends on situation to situation how you are going to involve the audience into the presentation. The 30 part. Always see to it that depending on the room and the screen size, most audience should be able to see text they at least, and that is why the font size should be 30. The person sitting in the last row of that room should not have visibility problem while reading the presentation. When designing your presentation, keep in mind that anything you show must be visible and it should be very elegant to read also. If you're concerned about fitting most text in one slide, always remember they do not necessarily make a better presentation. As I have said, no paragraphs. They should be only important points to be mentioned. So this was all about your 10, 20 and 30 rule. The next is your 6 by 6 rule. Now what does this mean? Following the 6 by 6 rule, it limits any text to 6 words per line and 6 lines per slide. Similar to the 10, 20, 30 rule, it focuses on readability and conciseness. Audiences are there to listen and watch you and not read the slides. Always remember this. They are reminded to distill your thoughts into short lines and use your presence to expand into more detail. Otherwise, the audience will keep on reading the slide and they will not pay attention to what you are saying. Too much text, though, can look monotonous and tiring for audience to read. Text can be useful in conveying your ideas. So the important text should be on the slide, whereas the remaining thing could be in your mind to discuss. This was your 6 by 6 rule. Now we move on to the next part, that is presentation phases. Whenever a presentation is being made, every presentation passes through three phases: the preparation phase, the delivery phase, and the follow-up phase. When we are seeing the preparation phase, it involves research and building the presentation. Now, what kind of research? It means you are going to find out the information that is to be added to your presentation. But when you're doing this, you're going to do it with minimum words and creating slides or supporting visuals and audio materials at the same time. Delivery is the second phase of your presentation. It is a part that audience is going to see. A good delivery depends on careful preparation and confident presentation and requires its own distinctive skill set. Yes, preparation will be the first phase, but delivery is the second phase, which should be abruptly done in the right manner. And the third phase is your follow-up phase. Follow-up includes properly breaking down and storing equipment, contacting any audience members with whom you have agreed to communicate further, and soliciting, collecting, and analyzing the feedback. This will help you to improve your presentation next time and give you an idea that what are the points that needs to be added or some things that could be done in a better way. So, here are some of the tips for improving your presentation skills. Whenever you're doing a presentation, practice speaking in front of others. This will improve your confidence. This will rather help to understand what kind of body language is expected when you are giving a presentation. Use less text and more visuals in your presentations. This will create an impact on the mind and it will have a good recall value. Leverage your personality. It should not be too fancy, it should not be too funsy, but it should be appropriate for that particular occasion and situation. If any questions are there, always welcome them and comments during the presentation. You should answer the questions and also welcome them because they are going to make you more and more better next time. Be passionate and engaging. It just not should be that you are come here to give or deliver 6 slides and end up the conversation. Maintain the eye contact with your audience. A very important tip in your personality, in your body language, in presentation skills and people skills as well. Focus on confident body language. Now, confident body language is very important whenever you are addressing with different people in and around. The moment you have that confidence, the half battle is won. Keep the presentation short as possible, if at times. Thank you so much.